In today's brief video, I want to offer up some really simple advice to anyone who's really struggling with quitting smoking weed, quitting drinking alcohol, or quitting watching adult media content. Although you could apply this advice to breaking any bad habit or addictive behavior. If you find yourself time and time again saying, I'm going to quit smoking weed on Monday, I'm going to quit on Sunday, I'm going to quit after the weekend or after this stressful work week, but time and time again, you don't actually quit. You continually keep returning to the substance. You fail to see through that commitment that you've made to yourself over and over again. My best piece of advice to you is to actually stop quitting. My advice is to take a break, forget about quitting weed, forget about quitting drinking alcohol, forget about the adult media content, and just all around just put a big pause on quitting. And I say this as someone who deeply struggled with addiction to nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, all things that our addiction mindset recovery coaching programs help people quit. And if you like the advice I wind up providing in today's video, be sure to check the pinned comment and the links in the video description to learn more about our paid and free program resources. Now, why would I tell someone to do that? Because when you continually fall short on that commitment that you've made to yourself to stop, what you're actually doing is gaining momentum in a very negative direction. And that momentum in a negative direction is like a boulder rolling down a hill that seems impossible to stop if you've been going at this for a really long time. So what we want to do is we want to flip that momentum and we want to start to turn it into a positive direction, because just like it takes momentum to go down, it takes momentum to go upward as well too. So how do we do that? I want you to start to focus on small little wins that you can achieve throughout the course of your day, throughout the course of your week, and throughout the course of perhaps even the next month. And think like really simple, really small. Maybe you've had a goal to exercise and eat healthier. So maybe a win would be not worrying about whether or not you drink or smoke weed or watch porn, but going for a walk today. Maybe a win would be taking some time and prepping your lunch and prepping your dinner so you're not getting takeout for lunch and dinner today. Maybe a win would be even simpler than that. Maybe a win would be simply making your bed or preparing your clothes for the next day for work or school or whatever it is you're getting ready for. You can think of accumulating small wins in your relationships, in your business life, in your personal life. It could be in your financial life, right? Maybe you're used to going out and spending money on the weekends. Maybe this weekend, a small win would be staying in and saving up some money. I want you to start to think and consider what small activities, what small decisions, what small commitments can you make to yourself that you are 99.99% sure you're able to see through for the next, 72 hours. Because once we start stacking up some of these small wins, we're going to start to build confidence. And confidence is one of those things that I know for me personally, after struggling with addiction, that was severely eroded, right? You start to lose confidence in yourself, in your word to yourself, when you say you're going to do something, and then you continually don't see that something through, i.e. quitting smoking weed, quitting drinking alcohol, quitting watching porn. So what we have to do is we have to switch the task to something that might be simpler, something that might be easier to achieve. And then what we need to do is we need to start checking off those smaller achievements, stacking up some small successes, some small wins, building momentum in a positive direction. And then with that positive momentum, with that increased confidence, because now we find ourselves keeping our word to ourselves for these smaller things, now maybe we can tackle quitting alcohol. Now maybe we can tackle quitting smoking weed. Now maybe we can tackle quitting vaping. I know for me, when it came to quitting vaping and quitting weed and quitting adult media content, it seemed almost as an impossible task, right? It seemed like it was going to be this monumental task to achieve, one far greater than I felt I was capable of or ready for. But what I started to do was reflect on all the things that I was successfully doing. I was working hard in my business at the time. I was working somewhat on my physical fitness. I was so sick I couldn't really work out, but I was swimming. I was walking regularly. And I started to find confidence in those smaller commitments that I had made to myself. And that eventually built the momentum to finally make that decision to quit smoking weed, quit drinking alcohol, whatever it was I was focused on stopping, a bunch of years ago at the time. And you have to think of it this way. Everything takes momentum. Like it's very unlikely that you smoked one cigarette and became addicted instantly. It's very unlikely that you smoked weed once and became addicted instantly, right? That addiction required momentum. There was repetitive bouts of smoking, whether it was in isolation or in social settings. When it comes to alcohol, there was a lot of momentum going out to the bars, having fun with friends, having drinks on social occasions. And then over time, that momentum built and it blew up into an addiction. The same thing is true when it comes to quitting substances. Now, there's another level to this. So what happens is you start to focus on these small wins, making your bed, not procrastinating or tackling that work task or email that needs to be answered, cleaning your car, cleaning your house, whatever small wins you think you can achieve and focus on, you focus on those for the course of a few days, a few weeks, or a few months. And then what you do is you start to revisit quitting smoking weed, quitting nicotine, quitting alcohol. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to quit. You may or may not go through some withdrawal symptoms, and then you need to continue to focus on the positive outcomes and the small wins that you're experiencing throughout that sobriety process. Because for a lot of people, it takes a minute or two to get comfortable not smoking weed, not drinking alcohol, not watching adult media content. So, look, if you're normally coming home at night and smoking weed and watching adult media content, but now you've quit, like, okay, now we're in the quitting phase, and instead you came home and you worked on your side hustle, or you went for a walk, or you spent some true quality time with your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids, focus on that as a win. Count that as a win. Hey, I didn't smoke today, but I did do this other positive thing. I did do this other good thing. And over time, what you're going to notice is those small wins and those small successes in sobriety are going to eventually turn into bigger wins, bigger successes, and that momentum just snowballs, right? And I think this is good advice not only for addiction and addiction recovery, but this is a principle that I apply to my everyday life. We all get stuck sometimes, okay? It's just about how quickly can you get unstuck from whatever you're stuck in. And I find when I'm facing like business challenges, when I'm facing fitness challenges, I find that focusing on small wins goes a really long way. So, for example, a lot of you guys know about a year ago now, we launched a supplement company, Kick It Crave Less Chewing Gum, which is an awesome product. You can learn more about it with the links in the pinned comment, and it's right here on YouTube Shopping. It's a gum product with KSM 66 ashwagandha and N-acetylcysteine designed to help people quit weed, quit alcohol, quit nicotine. It reduces stress, reduces cravings. Anyways, when we launched that product, instead of focusing on building this, mega supplement company, I was just focused on trying to get a single sale off of one of the 5 or 6 platforms that we're on. Just a single sale a week. That's where I started. That was a small win for me. Instead of trying to focus on, okay, we got to do X amount in revenue each week, each day. Same thing with fitness. If I'm saying, okay, Frank, you got to get into the gym and you got to start eating healthier and you got to get your 6-pack back and all that stuff, a lot of times that's a daunting task. It's easier to focus on, hey, can you get up and go for a walk today? Can you hit the weights for 30 minutes tomorrow? Focusing on smaller wins. Instead of eating dessert, can you eat, a banana with peanut butter tonight instead? Not saying that's super healthy either when it comes to weight loss, but you get my point. Building on these small wins eventually creates momentum. That momentum has a snowball effect, and eventually it turns into success. So if you're really struggling with substance use and you can't seem to quit, take a break from quitting, focus on some other smaller tasks, some other less daunting things that you feel confident in your ability to successfully achieve and accomplish. Go do those things, and then revisit quitting weed, quitting alcohol, quitting nicotine, quitting porn, whatever it is you're struggling with. Now, if you really enjoy today's video, I would encourage you to check out the links in the pinned comment in the video description. We have free and paid program resources. I have a one-on-one Q&A session where you can interact with me privately, ask me questions about your recovery process and quitting process. I have a more in-depth addiction recovery coaching call that's a 2-hour plus phone call where we cover everything you need from mindset to plans to relapse prevention, the whole thing. We have a $27 a month addiction mindset recovery group coaching school community hosted on school.com. It's an awesome group of people. You'll find accountability, community support, and live group sessions with myself in there. And then, of course, we have our free handouts and our Kick It, Crave Less supplement and product lines, all designed to help you guys quit. So check that stuff out with the links in the video description and the pinned comment. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video right up there.